We're traveling wherever the breeze takes us today on At Your Leisure. I'm Chad Booth. Rhea and I discover a new section of the West to explore, and nothing will stop us from reaching the top, even if the wind tries to blow us off of it. Then we'll set sail with Zack Cipriano as he lives the pirate's life at one destination that mixes water and sand. How can your family win a free trip to this exotic locale? Finally, what is Nordenskiaslopet? Terry Wood has your answer from Sweden.
So Chad, you're like driving the general, you're the general, I'm like the colonel.
Oh, no,
and then
no,
yeah, and then like Steven's the major.
No.
And we'll have David Steadman be the lieutenant.
Well, Rhea, one thing that anybody that's ever ridden with us would know, you are definitely the general, and I am only the colonel. Welcome to At Your Leisure. I'm Chad Booth.
And I'm Rhea Rossi Booth, and we are up here with David Steadman, and we're out on their wonderful machines, and we are about, we're north of Dell.
Just north of Dell, which is about 30 miles west of Tooele, Grantsville area. To the south, we've ridden many times across the mountains when we've done the fun rides to Wendover. We've crossed over in these areas, but we've never been up here, and we're really excited to check out the vistas and rise above the dust storm down there on the plains and enjoy what's up here on the mountaintop.
It's a tad bit breezy, but it's warm. It's lovely.
That's true. So let's find a little bit more out about this area.
Area north of Dale is a very big and open area, easy riding with a couple trails that can be a little bit of challenge, but nothing technical. Maybe on a scale of 1 to 5, we go 2.5. Mostly as an open dirt road riding. Very good and very excellent place to go on the north side of the freeway is the big mountain where all the microwave and relay stations for the airport are. It's a very scenic road, and the view is very beautiful from the top of there.
Rolly hills, you're up one and down off the other side, and up another one, down off the other side. Roads going everywhere. It was a new area for me. I'd never been there. I've had lots of our customers tell us how there's some good riding over there, so I wanted to go check it out. So this was a great opportunity for all of us to go over and check out a new area that we'd never been in. So we didn't even drive a half an hour, and we were where we could ride all day long.
Go directly west, and you will have a beautiful canyon. Nice ride. That's the 2.5 I'm talking about. Couple steep climbs. On the left-hand side, you're gonna have nice ruin of an old mining operation or something like that, mill. And if you go around that to the mountains to your south now, because that's on your left-hand side, which is south, you will end up in a beautiful canyon. Good place for a lunch or something. It's a good place to ride.
Oh man, you can look clear back across the Great Salt Lake towards the Salt Lake Valley, all up to the north. You can see all the islands. It's just cool, beautiful. You can see forever across these valleys. They're so big and long and massive. You just seem like you're looking 100 miles across the valley to the next set of mountains that you can see. It's gorgeous. I love it out here in the desert.
I enjoyed discovering the unknown. And you always have the question, what's around the corner, what's next? And you run into things and places where you go, oh wow, what happened here? Who was here? That's nice. And you learn the history of the state or the place. And of course you discover new places.
So when you're out exploring, make sure that you get out of your vehicle, because if we'd have stayed on the trail, we would have never seen this. Take a look at this rock. This rust color is like a lichen, like a soft velvety desert moss that's on the rock. And there are pictures like this all over. This variegated color rock out here that if you're going at 20 miles an hour, you're going to miss. But if you stop and dodge the rattlesnakes, thank you, David.
David!
You'll find them.
There's rattlesnakes out here. That's why we're here and you're there.
Well, right now it's time for us to shift gears from where we are to another location that's ripe for adventure in this week's travel adventure.
Thanks, guys. Now, when you think of pirate ships and swashbuckling adventures, you probably think of something like this, but unfortunately, a ship behind glass is as close as you're ever going to get. You'll never visit Davy Jones' Locker or see that island with X marks the spot. But that doesn't mean you can't go find adventure that's pretty close. Today on our travel adventure, I'm going to take you to a place that's got warm weather, comfy currents, and the perfect place to let your pirate flag fly.
There's never a dull moment here. Never a dull moment.
Just north of Lake Havasu on the Colorado River, sandy beaches run right up to the water from nearby sand dunes. It's a spot where you could imagine pirates sailing ashore to bury their treasure before heading out to plunder merchant ships. Instead of galleons dropping anchor though, RVs are the vessel of choice, enjoying full hookups and ready for whatever new horizons await. This is Pirate Cove, where ATVing, boating, and relaxing meet an atmosphere that even Blackbeard himself could enjoy.
We are 2.5 to almost 3 miles of over 150 RV riverfront spots that are fully hooked up. Everybody has their own sand beach that they can build a campfire right on their site. We'll have 9 travel trailers that they can rent out, and we'll hook them up right there for them, so all they have to do is show up. If they're not really feeling the rustic vibe, we do have 14 cabins that they can rent out as well. We have 4 right on the beach, so if they do have a watercraft vehicle, they can pull right up to their cabin, or we have 10 actually right behind us that are considered the marina ones that overlook the entire marina and restaurant. We've got Laughlin, which is about 20-30 minutes away north. Vegas is about 90 minutes away. Havasu is about 35.
We have an image of pirates in pop culture that range from Long John Silver to Captain Jack Sparrow. Now, normally these brigands seek out gold, rum, maybe a lady or two. But it's safe to say with a name like Pirate Cove, you'll have the chance to let your hair down a little and enjoy yourself. But there's more to this rogue's roost than your average buccaneer would expect. Most RV vacations are all about family. After all, that's why most people buy one in the first place. Here along the currents of the Colorado, that fact is celebrated on every beach and inlet.
A lot of families come in with their RVs, come in and camp, and we just really wanted to target more of that old way that kids used to camp and kind of take them out of the city life, you know, throw the phones away for a day and just enjoy nature.
And there is plenty of nature to enjoy here along the California-Arizona border. You have the river, of course, which is the centerpiece of Pirate Cove. You can't have pirates and raiders without water, after all. You can boat all the way down to Havasu to explore London Bridge and all of that, but the sand and desert offer another adventure that old corsairs would probably love more than their pile of doubloons and bottles of whiskey.
You can drive straight from your RV site off to over 3,200 miles of off-road trails, straight from your RV resort spot. We also offer rentals. We have boat rentals, water jet skis. We have off-road rentals. So if you don't have an off-road vehicle but you would like to go, we can have that accommodated for you. We also have a lot of fishing around here, as well as if they want to do some old school camping, we have an area of tent camping as well.
Plus, with other destination spots so close by, you could easily spend a week using Pirates Cove as a base, hitting every interesting adventure along the way. Sure, you might not find buried treasure out here, but the reward is far greater than mere jewels and gold. If your map leads to Pirates Cove, your family will find memories to remind them that where your loved ones are is also the place where X marks the spot. So, if you ever feel like taking that pirate ship out of the case and going on a real adventure, now you know where to go. But we're going to make it even easier for you. See, we've teamed up with Ray Citte RV for a family vacation. That includes a week-long RV rental, 3 days on the Colorado River at Pirates Cove, and that's plenty of time to enjoy all of the awesome adventure that that place has to offer. If you want to enter, you can either go to Ray Citte RV in person and sign up, or you can go to At Your Leisure's Facebook page. And if you do both, then that's just more opportunities, more entries, you get the gig. So, don't forget to enter. We'll be picking a winner in just a few weeks. Well, I'm Zack Cipriano. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, more At Your Leisure.
Meet the new leader in off-road utility, the completely reinvented Ranger XP 1000. It's got the most power, the largest towing capacity, the highest ground clearance, and the best comfort and storage. Introducing the all-new Polaris Ranger XP 1000, the hardest working, smoothest riding Ranger ever built.
Living in Utah, we're lucky we can enjoy riding our recreational vehicles year-round in the mountains, at the dunes, rock crawling, or road riding. Steadman's Recreation has Utah's largest selection of Honda, Polaris, Yamaha, and Beta machines. See them all at Steadman's Recreation in Tooele. Need a tune-up, new tires, or accessories? Steadman's Service Department can help.
Steadman's Recreation in Tooele. You may think it's 300 miles out here, but remember, it's only 30 miles back.
Hey everybody, welcome back to At Your Leisure. I'm Rick Peterson, and today we're getting ready for the biggest outdoor 4x4 weekend of the year. And to get ready, to get our vehicles ready, today I'm here with Scott at Tunex in Cottonwood Heights to give you a few tips. Hey Scott. How you doing?
Very good.
I see you're under the hood of your Jeep here.
I am.
Tell us what you're checking to get ready for the year.
You know, I'm checking all kinds of things today. I want to make sure that everything under the hood is in good operating order and in good shape. So I'm going to make sure that such things as this belt up here is in really good shape, that these hoses are in good shape, that they're not swollen, they're not soaked with oil. But even more so, I'm going to make sure I have good, clean oil. Brake fluid is very important. I want to make sure the brake fluid is perfect. I'm going to check the transmission, the power steering. I want to make sure I have no contamination in any of those fluids. A clean air filter really does make a big difference. And this particular air filter is a K&N. It's a good breathing air filter.
When you're on the trail, things get bounced around. Plus you could be adding other accessories that draw the battery. What should we be checking before we hit the trail?
The one thing I like to make sure of first and foremost is that my battery is fastened down, has a good hold down so it's nice and tight.
We've taken a great look underneath the hood. Now let's raise this thing up and look underneath.
Second thing we're going to look at now, Rick, is going to be the tires. These tires are in good shape. One of the large concerns as well is going to be the steering parts. Steering parts are going to be under 3 times the stress that they are driving down the highway.
Now let's go to the back and look at the next thing on the checklist, the suspension.
Yes, Rick, suspension is one of the critical components of this Jeep. One of the most common things we see on the trail are these bolts coming loose and sometimes falling out. That can be detrimental while you're out on a trail.
Hey Scott, thanks for giving us a great list of tips so that we can really get out and enjoy our Jeeps this weekend. I know we only had a few minutes.
Oh, I could go on for hours, days, even weeks about all the things that we could check.
That's exactly why you should come see our friends at Tunex here in Cottonwood Heights, West Valley Hunter, and South Jordan. That's all the time we have today. We'll be right back with more At Your Leisure. Let's go try this thing out.
Yeah, let's do it. Hey, I'm driving.
No.
Oh, I'm driving, man.
You're passenger.
In a place that is beyond words, there is nothing to be said, except take your time in Bryce Canyon country.
I'm about ready to enter a time machine. Now, it's not an episode of Doctor Who, it's an episode of Doctor Where. In 7 hours, I will be in summer, and you could too if you had an RV or a travel trailer from Ray Citte RV on Riverdale Road. As a matter of fact, if you go in there right now or go to raycitte.com, you can enter to win this vacation I'm taking to Pirates Cove in Needles, California. Ray Citte RV, Utah's low price leader since 1946.
Too often we find ourselves in shoes like these, or these. Wouldn't it be nice to change into something more like this, or this? How about these? Put on whatever shoes you prefer and come to Beaver County. We have exactly the adventure you need to put under them. So the next time you want to change out of these, come to Beaver County where you can jump into a pair of these. Beaver County, Utah. Lace up for adventure.
Wow, that wind is something fierce today. Woo, what do you think, David?
Oh my, it's a good one today for sure, especially on them peaks over there. About blew us off a minute ago.
That's true. Joke. Welcome back to At Your Leisure. We are out north of Dell. We are with David Steadman, and did we really intend to actually go to the top of that mountain in our quest to get to the tower?
The way I see it, if there's a road on it, you mean to be to the top of the road.
That's true words from the Steadman right there.
That's true. If we couldn't make it, there wouldn't be a road on it. So, you know, you got 1,000 cc here, I got a 500 cc. I'm only half of what you got.
That's true.
This is the nicest
and I got a camera guy. So, I mean,
that's true.
If I can make it, you're just fine.
No. It was nothing about making it. It was about that extra unknown adventure around the bend.
The one you talk about on every show.
That's true, and unknowns like that are really good, but unknowns about having your machine not ready for the season, that's bad.
Yeah, not so good.
Let's find out a little bit more about it.
The first thing you should do is check the vehicles. I had an incident just yesterday, as a matter of fact, that I thought that I checked the fuel in the vehicles, and that's a very important thing. If you're going on an all-day ride, make sure the fuel is topped off. It might sound menial, but it really is important.
Tire pressure, oil, gas, all the basic things to make sure that you're good to go when you get out there. You know, it's not a bad idea to do a beginning of the year checkup to make sure everything's in working order, especially if you've not had it out for a year or so. Start it up, make sure it runs okay. And as always, they can bring it in here, and if we need to do some things to it, we can.
A lot of people totally forget about trailers. They maintain their vehicles, they maintain everything impeccably, but they just assume that the trailer's always going to be fine. Check out your tires, make sure that the tire axles have been greased. Those types of things people will then generally forget.
It's good to have maps, plenty of water, a cell phone, in case you get trouble and you have coverage.
And just like you're hiking and skiing or whatever you're doing in the backcountry, make sure people know where you are and when you plan to return. Because if you don't show up, then somebody knows where you're at.
Okay, right now it's time for us to go to our trail adventure this week. Proudly brought to you each week by Rocky Mountain ATV MC, the people that got those great online accessories. And always seem to bring us these stories. Get your parasailers out, and here we go.
220 kilometers today. I think it's crazy, and I'm absolutely frightened of it.
For Canadian cross-country skier Brian McKeever, crazy and frightening are relative terms. I mean, after all, he's about to set off across Sweden on the most extreme long-distance trek in the world, with nothing but his skills and poles for company. This is beyond crazy. This is Nordenskjöldsløpet. Nordenskjöldsløpet. Try saying that 5 times fast. It's the world's longest classical ski race, with history stretching back all the way to 1884. Here's the story. Arctic explorer Adolf Erik Nordenskjöld sent 2 of his men skiing across Greenland. This was 1883. They traveled 460 kilometers in 57 hours. Now, no one believed they had actually done it. So a year later, he set up the first race that ran between Jokkmokk and Gvikå in Sweden, 220 kilometers in 24 hours, or about 137 miles. It turned out to be the toughest and most demanding race in skiing history. So naturally, it's become an annual event. Skiers from across the world come out every year to push themselves to the breaking point through the lonely forests and the frozen expanses of northern Sweden.
It's a great event. You know, the support we had on the track, you know, out in the middle of nowhere, and people, the locals are still coming out to cheer. The kids are out there. That makes it a really special event.
Well, when I signed up for this race, I thought it would be a nice flat race, but it's not. It's a little roller coaster. It's roller coaster in emotions. Sometimes I feel really good, and sometimes I begin to worry whether I'm ever going to finish it. But as of now, I'm really enjoying it. Course is fantastic. Really good scenery, nice tracks, perfect conditions. So not sure how I'm going to feel in another half an hour, but right now, on the whole, I'm positive. Cheers.
These athletes have 30 hours to complete the 220-kilometer course, with top times coming in at just under 12 hours. Stops along the route provide food, coffee, whatever the competitors need to keep going. Skiers trek through the night with only the moon and their headlamps lighting the way. For some, this race turns out to be too much. For others, it's merely crossing the finish line that's a victory all on its own.
I think I'm pretty happy to have finished. There were some times out there where I had trouble with the energy management and didn't eat enough, and that's when I started to go backwards. But it was good to be fighting in the top 5 up to about 130K or thereabouts. And then I spent 50 kilometers alone until I was finally caught by another group. So, but it was good. It was a good experience, and you never know how the body will feel. So I'm just glad, like I say, my goal before the start was to finish, and I did that. So.
You know, anyone who's ever strapped on a pair of cross-country skis and pushed themselves for an hour or two knows exactly the kind of beating it can give you. So how do these athletes do it for nearly an entire day, pushing themselves as hard as humanly possible, both physically and mentally? Well, it takes a lot more than drive to accomplish this feat.
You know, I just tried to rely on the training that I've done emotionally, you know, talking to other guys that have done it. But I thought the funniest comment I had was when Eric passed me with a few kilometers to go, and I asked how he was doing, and he said, I feel more fresh now. So if the only guy that would say that is the 24-hour world record holder. So I think that was quite funny to hear that. I got a smile out of it.
And that humor actually helps many of the athletes push past fatigue and soreness to complete their goal of reaching Jokkmokk, still standing. The race is open to both professionals and amateurs alike, with everyone invited to attempt what was once thought impossible. Nordenskjöldskloppet will be back again this time next year, and if you're wanting to give it a try, all you have to do is grab your skis, and then get ready for a very long day.
I think everybody had a good time. That's fantastic. This community of Jokkmokk has done a great job putting it on, and all the towns along the way. And of course, thanks to Red Bull for sponsoring the event. And hopefully I can be back here another time.
Crazy? Well, maybe. But you know, you have to be a little crazy to accomplish something this extreme. From the trailhead, I'm Terry Wood.
Fortress Clothing is the answer to people who have to spend time outdoors. We're science-based. We actually retain body heat, but our product is hydrophobic, so it allows moisture to evacuate. It works, and for all of our AYL viewers, AYL 20% off anything we offer. We claim what everybody else claims, but we actually deliver.
Introduces the newest ways to explore the water. Load up all your gear, catch some rays, grab a bite to eat, crank up some tunes, and tons more. Every day we just go, baby, don't go. Every day we just go. Sea-Doo, escape the everyday. Every day we just go.
There's a little place on a Utah map where I was raised, where my heart's at, where the sagebrush grows wild and high, and the stars come out at night. in the basin with a Ute reservation, skiing starvation, that Duchesne County life.
Welcome back to At Your Leisure, everybody. Hey, have you ever wondered when you're just out in the middle of nowhere and there's no water anywhere but there's cows? Where they get water? Right here.
True. We always like to leave you with a little extra information on At Your Leisure, and this is something I learned about a couple of years ago. So when I see one of these strange boxes in the middle of the desert, I now know what it is. It's so cows can drink. So this is a water condensator, and so what happens is the sun shines down on this corrugated metal and it heats up, and the cool air underneath starts to condense. It hits like a dew point, like on your cars in the morning, right? And that water clings to the metal and it runs down. Follow us here. It drops into this gutter, goes down a drain, and ends up in a trough downstream. And surprisingly, in a hot summer, even in an arid place like this, it will generate a significant amount of water. And then the cows make their way to it and they take a drink. Anyway, there's your little tidbit of educational information. Now for the fun stuff. Let's look at our sticker winner.
Z944SG, and he's really smart because he's driving a smart car. Good job, you just won a family pack of fast cards, 4 tickets.
Okay, if that's not enough giving away, we've got the Ray Citte At Your Leisure Vacation giveaway, where we're all going to be a band of pirates down at Pirate Cove in Needles, California. Perfect trip. Camp right on the beach with full hookups, and I literally mean right on the beach of the Colorado River. Get a half-day TV rental, half-day of a watercraft rental, and 3 nights down there, and a 1-week trip to get there and back. It can't get any better than that from our friends at Ray Citte RV.
No kidding. And if your friends don't have an RV, tell them to rent a cabin and they can go with you.
They can follow you down. Okay, sign up on our Facebook page, sign up on our website, sign up on Ray Citte's website. Lots of ways to enter, but hurry, the contest is almost over.
Now let's take a look at next week's show.
We're exploring the vastness of the desert in 1 week as we find out why your next camping trip might just be in the sand. It's the perfect spot for a family trip. Then Reese Stein explores Antelope Island and finds a playground for horsemen. He'll ride from north to south and discover some interesting history along the way. See you on AYL in 1 week.
There's never a good time to be back, and there's some days when it's a perfect time to be back. I think today was a perfect time to be back.
Look how happy you look, David.
Thanks to David Steadman for coming out and being brave enough to try something he'd never tried before and let us be the same.
It was great. It's always better than going to work. Yeah. Anytime you got horsepower, it's got to be a good day.
I think this is one of those days.
Yeah, when you can't see north, south, east, or west, when you're in the desert, you hope you're going the right direction on the right road for sure, dude.
Just a point. It's not every day you get to ATV by Braille, but we kind of did it today.
All right, but just remember there's adventure around every corner.
It's just up to you to get out there and create your own adventure at your leisure. See you next week.
And I guarantee you're liking it.
Yeah.
This is horrible. Your nose is running. Ew. Ew.